Our black raspberries are just starting to ripen. The first berries just beginning to get ready for picking. Now you'll remember when we looked at these plants earlier in the season, because last year was their first year, the canes grew very sprawling and close to the ground. That's not their normal growth habit. You won't expect to see black raspberries growing like this after they're established. We'll look a little bit later and see that this year the canes are growing much more normally. But for now, I want to look a little bit at the fruit. I've mentioned before that black raspberries and blackberries are two completely different fruit. One of the ways you can tell is when you pick a black raspberry, or any of the raspberries, the little core will stay on the plant and the fruit itself will be hollow. If it was a blackberry, this little core would stay inside the fruit and stay, so you wouldn't have a hollow fruit. That little white core would be inside the fruit. That's just one of the ways that you can tell the difference between the two, besides the flavor of them. I mentioned that we're getting much more of a normal growth habit this year. Here are the new canes that are coming up, much more upright. This is much more what we should be expecting. But you'll also notice that they're beginning to grow out and spread. Eventually, if these were left go on their own, they would grow out, weep over, and eventually come down and touch the ground. We don't want to let them do that for several reasons. As they sprawl out, they get wider than they really need to be, and once they touch ground, they'll start rooting. And so if you let them go, your patch will spread and get out of control. So what we're going to do on these new canes, we're going to come back and at about a 2 to 2.5 foot height, we're going to cut out the centers. Now what this does, if we come down and look at one that had the center pruned out of it earlier, about a month or so ago, what this does is it allows these lateral branches to come out. If we look at one that's just been cut today, you'll notice that these lateral buds are staying dormant. You're not getting any lateral growth. This principle is the same as what we were talking about with the watermelons earlier in the show. As long as that growing tip is still there, those lateral branches remain dormant. Once you remove that tip, you allow those buds to grow out, and what we're aiming for is to have a sturdy central stem, then have the lateral branches that come out. These laterals are going to be where we get our fruit next year. Next spring we will cut these off, shorten them up, but by doing this we can have a very sturdy stem that won't flop over, then have our lateral branches with our fruit and keep it up off of the ground.